Good morning, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Welcome back again. Nice to have you here. I always appreciate your presence and taking the time with me. So today I will start with an explosive testimony by Ethiopia Parliament member Mr. Angasa Ibrahim. Very explosive that is circulating in different social media. So I will start with that one, then I have more videos and more news to share with you. So it's in Amharic, very explosive, and he's talking about who is carrying out the killing of civilians in Oromia region. So please share this video with those Amhara medias claiming that oil is carrying out and the attack, and try to blame oil for all atrocities and civilian kills, especially they claim Amhara killed in thousands, and this is a member of the Ethiopian parliament, and he knows the secret, and he is now sharing it uh, to Ethiopians and to the global community. So we should take it seriously. If necessary, conduct further investigation on the issue. So he's, let's listen to him. And here we go.
የኦሮሚያ ክልል ፕሬዝዳንትና የክልሉ የብልጽግና ቢሮ ኃላፊ አመራሮች ናቸው እንጂ ሸኔዎች አይደሉም። በእነሱ የተቀናበሩ ሸኔዎች ናቸው ግድያውን እየፈጸሙ ያሉት። ነገ ቢሞት ጸጸት እንዳይኖርብኝ ይችን ልናገር። የስ እውነቱ ይሄ ነው። ሁለት አይነት ሸኔ ነው ያለው። እውነተኛው ሸኔና ሳቦታጅ ሸኔ ነው ያለው። ሳቦታጁ ሸኔ የሚመራው በኦሮሚያው ክልል አመራር ነው። የኦሮሚያ ክልል አመራርና የኦሮሚያ ክልል ብልጽግና ቢሮ ከነ አመራራቸው ከነ ካቢኔያቸው ካልተፈረካከሱ በቀር በጭራሽ ሞት፣ ግድያ በኦሮሚያ ሊቆም አይችልም። እንደው እችን ተናግሬ ነገ ጠዋት ልሙት ጸጸት የለብኝም። ስለምናቅ ነው የምንናገረው። ስለምናቅ ነው የምንናገረው። የሰው ነፍስ ያንገበግበናል። ቋቅ ብሎናል። ቋቅ ብሎናል። መግለጫ ሰልችቶናል። የሀዘን መግለጫ ቋቅ ብሎናል። እኛ አንፈልግም። የሀዘን መግለጫ ዱንካር ማሳመሪያ ልንሆን አይደለም ወደ ኢትዮጵያ የመጣ ነው። ንጹሐን ከግድያና ከስርቆት ለማትረፍ ነው ወደዚች ሀገር የመጣ ነው። ማንንም ለማጀግነን ማንንም ለማጥፋት አይደለም። በፍጹም የብሔር ብሔረሰብ እልቁቶችን ሁሉ ተተምኖ ካልኩሌት ተደርጎ ተቀምሞ እየተሰራጨ ያለ ከኦሮሚያ ክልል ፕሬዝዳንት ጽሕፈት ቤትና ከኦሮሚያ ክልል ብልጽግና ቢሮ ነው እየተሰራጨ ያለው። እዛ ላይ ያሉ አመራርና አካሄዶቹ ሁሉ ስር ነቀል ለውጥ ከነ ካቢኔው እንዲህ ካልተገለበጡ በቀር መቼም ሞት አይቆምም። ቃሌን ለምድር ለሰማይ።
Ghana's markets out. Okay, I'll come back to the other videos later on. So that is very explosive testimony or confirmation what Concerned Citizens Media reported and other medias reported in the past. I reported, citing different media resources, the attack on the civilians, on Amhara civilians, especially in Oromia region, is carried out by Oromia regional authorities and the Prosperity Party officials. And Ole also repeatedly claimed he got nothing to do with the civilians killing. He got the target. The target is the government security forces and local Prosperity Party officials, and those are spying for Prosperity Party. So he got nothing to do with the killing of civilians. So this Mr. Dr. Angasa Ibrahim, he's saying he returned from Canada uh, for the purpose of helping Oromos, or for fair and reasonable leadership and administration in Ethiopia, not for such kind of atrocities and killings, assassinations. So he is also reported that the killing of his security guard in the last 2 days. First, they removed the security guards, just like they did in the case of Jawar Mahammad. And the security guy who was killed a couple of days ago, he's saying in another video, he's from Jimma district or Jimma zone. He was offered millions of birr and other gifts to assassinate this parliament member, because he is now, he exposed the administration about the killing of Karayu leaders, Karayu senior leaders, the 16 Karayu leaders, Bagadas, assassinated by Oromia region police authority, police commissioner, and others. So since then, he is now becoming the target of the Oromia regional government. So he's now he is saying he don't care, he don't regret if he died tomorrow, by saying this factual truth confirmation statement. So I don't know. He is in favor of Prime Minister. He is he loved the Prosperity Party. He loved Prime Minister, but he also criticized him for not doing enough, for not challenging these people. But I don't think that the Prime Minister doesn't know what's happening in Oromia. Everything is under the guidance of the Prime Minister. But now he tried to separate the Prime Minister from the Oromia regional authorities. I don't think it's gonna work like that. Everything is directed by the Prime Minister. The removing of the security forces and other killings. But this guy tried to blame Oromia regional president, Oromia regional Prosperity Party officials, and he is also saying that the killing of the Amhara civilians in Oromia and other killings will not stop until the leadership is removed, the Oromia region leadership removed, including the president, Shimalis Abdisa. He is saying the killing we are witnessing in Oromia region will not be it's endless. That's why he's saying it's endless as long as this leadership stays in power. So I hope he will survive, so he can tell us a lot of, a lot of unknown about the leadership in Oromia region. He also promised to expose who killed Hachalu Hundessa, the iconic Oromo singer who was assassinated about 2 years ago. So very explosive speech, very explosive confirmation who is carrying out the killing of civilians, Amhara civilians. So those Amhara medias, Ethio 360s, please pay attention. Don't just blame OLA. He said two connections. Two. One is organized, supported, financed by Oromia regional government. These are the one carrying out the civilian killings, the assassinations in Oromia region. So, this is very explosive, and we should share this with international organizations, United Nations, European Union, the United States. They should know who is carrying out this genocide in Amhara region. We should share it with all concerned countries and the international organizations. Let the truth be known. Do not just blame OLA so that you will get OLA blacklisted like Al Qaeda or Al Shabaab. Stay on the truth. Stay on the truth. Expose who is carrying out these atrocities, these killings, and he's also warned us. I repeat, this killing will continue as long as the leadership in Oromia region, as long as the Prosperity Party in Oromia continues, and will not see the end of killing. So he is in a red line. He could be assassinated tomorrow. There is no guarantee for his survival. After exposing the Karayu killing, after saying all this about oil operations, controlling several areas in Oromia region, so it's in contrary what the government is saying. So he is now a target, a clear target. I hope he will make decision, maybe get out to Canada before they take his life. This is serious. They will assassinate him. They will once they assassinate his bodyguard, he will be next. He will be next. So I advise him. I wish him to come out so we will know about Hachalu Hundessa, who killed Hachalu Hundessa, who ordered the killing of Hachalu Hundessa. And other truths about what is happening in Ethiopia, especially in Oromia region. So there is no guarantee Prime Minister is out of all this trouble, bad news about Ethiopia. Even though Angasa Ibrahim tried to, give him a pass. So let's wait and see what truth will come from this person, how he can survive in Ethiopia, in Oromia region, continue to serve the public. So let's continue with other news. Thank you again. The next one is boss Oromo Federalist, or the Oromo Federalist Congress officials, senior officials, Bekele Gerba and Jawar Mahammad, continue their thank you tour in the United States. They completed their engagement with Seattle, Washington community, and Portland. And these two officials, especially Jawar Mahammad, strongly warn the Ethiopian federal government and the Amhara regional government plus the Oromo regional government authorities not to use the Amhara militia, Amhara Fano in Oromia to conduct their war operation against OLA. They warned seriously, and this is very serious problem. It would create already shaky relationship. It could bring more trouble between the Amharas and the Oromos. So both of them, they seriously warned and demanded the federal government, the Amhara region, the Oromia regional government to stop the deployment of the Amhara forces, Amhara Fanos in Oromia region. So that's a very serious warning. And they will continue their thank you tour in coming days, July 8th in Chicago and Las Vegas and other states. So we'll follow and we'll report to you. Three taken from prison cell, killed, and their bodies dumped in forests. By Ethiopian Defense Force in Kondala Wereda, West Wallagga, Oromia region. Their names: 1, Melaku Gomora; 2nd, Tasfaye Mahammad, it's a teacher; and the 3rd one, Abdi Shabure, university graduate, unemployed, looking for a job. So these 3 individuals taken from prison cells, assassinated, and their bodies thrown into forest by Ethiopian security forces. And such criminal brutalities become common, especially in Oromia region. You know, this is an indication that there is no law and order in Oromia region. It's broken. There is no protection, even in the government custody. You know, once you are in the government hand, once you are, arrested, you should have a legal protection according to the Ethiopian constitution. The constitution gives you, give the prisoners certain kind of protection, but nothing is, in under Abiy Ahmed, nothing is protected, nothing. So they take them in the middle of the night, assassinate them, and dump their bodies in the forest. This happened in the past before. I also reported on these issues. This thing is keep happening, and the international community, the United States, EU, United Nations, they should pay attention. They should pay attention for the sake of humanity. What is happening, especially in Oromia region, and extrajudicial killing, no protection for prisoners. So This is a serious crime happening under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed leadership in Ethiopia. Families say journalist Abebe Bayu in Awash Arba. Journalist Yayeso still missing. The families of journalist Abebe Bayu, the YouTube-based Ethio-Forum media, said they were told by freed detainees that he is in Awash Arba, located in the Afar regional state. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Taking him from Addis Ababa and keep him in Awash Arba, Afar region. Abebe's close family member told Addis Standard that his whereabouts was unknown since Friday, 1 July, after around 10 p.m. local time, when security forces in plain clothes took him from his residence. Now they received information from freed detainees that he was held in Awash Arba. Abebe was one of several journalists who was detained for months without charge and released by Awash Fantale District Court in Afar Regional State on 5,000 Ethiopian birr bail. Abebe Bayu and Yayeso Shimelis of Ethio-Forum were first arrested on 2 July 2021, alongside staff members of Aulo Media, another YouTube-based media that has since been closed. In a similar development, family members of Yayeso Shimelis told Addis Standard today that they were still not able to trace the whereabouts of Yayeso after he was detained again on 28 June. On 20 June, Yayeso was released on 10,000 birr bail from police custody after he was detained on 26 May. This is a challenge for journalists in Ethiopia. This is a trouble trend. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, when he came to power in 2018, promised so many things. Now everything is moving backward. There is no freedom of reporting. There is no freedom of expression in Ethiopia. So they are, his leadership is arresting and asking high bond and repeatedly detaining them, even detaining them after the court released them on bond. That's a challenge. Now, Temesgen Desalegn, also another journalist, very famous, known for resistance movement. He was also repeatedly arrested during TPLF-dominated administration of Ethiopia. Now he's also detained, and the government asked for 100,000 Ethiopian birr. We don't know if he's released or is still in jail. I think he's still in jail, but the bond is 100,000 Ethiopian birr. So they increase the bond so that the family cannot afford to pay this bond. This is a challenge. Then when they pay the bond, then the police rearrest those journalists. There is no law. This is a check. This is the criminal conduct the international communities must pay when they are dealing, when they are forming a relationship with Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and with Ethiopia. They should pay attention This is very serious crime, and the journalists are targeted repeatedly, so will not get the truth about Ethiopia. This one is a positive development. European Union to provide 81.5 pound to support vulnerable Ethiopians, stresses improving humanitarian access, restoring service in Tigray. Charles Michael, President of the European Council, said that European Union was finalizing measures worth 81.5 million to support the basic needs of vulnerable population of Ethiopia. Mr. Michael and Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed held a telephone conversation Monday, 04 July, to follow up on their meeting in the margin of the AU-EU summit and on the recent visit of Commissioner Lenarcis to the country. The recent visit to Ethiopia, Janez Leransis, Commissioner for Crisis Management in charge of European Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid, took place on 20 to 21 June and included a visit to the capital of Tigray State, Bekele, and a meeting with Tigray State President Debretsion Gebremichael, Dr. Up on his return from Bekele, Commissioner Lenarcis said the Tigrayans have suffered enough. Much of the blockade of Tigray still remains. The desperate situation requires urgent scaling up so that humanitarian workers can deliver assistance to all in need. Fuel is much needed. Basic service for the population needed to be restored, he tweeted. According to a readout of Monday's telephone conversation, President Charles Michael took note of the recent efforts to improve humanitarian access in Tigray since the humanitarian truce. President Michael stressed that these efforts should be increased and sustained, notably via alternative roads and the restoration of basic services, notably telecommunications. The President also highlighted that fuel and fertilizers are urgently needed to fight food insecurity, which is a major consequence of Russia's war in Ukraine. Furthermore, the two also discussed relations with Sudan and the negotiation with partners on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, according to the readout. It is recalled that following the last meeting held on 20 June, the Council of the European Union has said that although there is some progress in Ethiopia, it is not enough for the full normalization relationship between the EU and Ethiopia. Speaking after the meeting, Joseph Borrell, High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Vice President, the situation in Ethiopia was the big discussion. The Council believes there is some progress, but not enough for the full normalization of our relationship. Credit Addis Standard. This is the last one on the killing of Shirin Abu Akil. Press statement from U.S. State Department. After extremely detailed forensic analysis, independent third-party examiners, as part of a process overseen by the U.S. Security Coordinator, USSC, could not reach a definitive conclusion regarding the origin of the bullet that killed Palestinian-American journalist Shireen Abu Akleh. Ballistic experts determined the bullet was badly damaged, which prevented a clear conclusion. In addition to the forensic and ballistic analysis, the USSC was granted full access to both Israel Defense Force and Palestinian Authority investigation over the last several weeks. By summarizing both investigations, the USSC concluded that gunfire from Israel Defense Force positions was likely responsible for the death of Shireen Abu Akleh. The USSC found no reason to believe that this was intentional, but rather the result of tragic circumstances during an Israeli Defense Force-led military operation against faction of Palestinian Islamic Jihad on May 11, 2022 in Jenin, which followed a series of terrorist attacks in Israel. The United States appreciates and continue to encourage cooperation between Israel and the PA, Palestinian Authority, in this important case. We will remain engaged with Israel and the Palestinian Authority on the next steps and urge accountability. We again offer our deepest condolences to the Abu Akleh families. Okay, that is a well-crafted statement from U.S. State Department. They don't want to create trouble on Israel. They are be careful. They know all journalists, especially those who are reporting on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Clearly, they have the sign. It says journalist, and they know, the Israelis. They know when they shoot these journalists. So, but the United States, it's a very friendly country to Israel. They don't want to offend, so they have to play with some kind of words and excuses. That is what we see from this statement. They don't want to say, hey, Israel is responsible. They should be accounted for. They don't want to do, because it could create a backlash here. They don't want to deal with it. So they have to be careful and in crafting these letters. And it's better to express the deepest condolences instead of blaming Israel what they did what they do and what they did on Palestinians, including their expansion. Okay, so that's enough, and let's share a couple of videos and end today's presentation. There we go.
Now, why inflation bites hardest? Here, some goods are priced beyond the reach of many customers. This is forcing shoppers like Chantal to either reduce their food budgets or take some items off the menu.
I came to buy fish, and because of the price, I'm asking, please reduce it, and she's not reducing it. And I think I cannot buy it, so I'm going, because I'm having 8 cities, and she said 16 cities, and I cannot afford it. At first, It was 8 cities and now it's 16 cities, so times 2. So I don't know what to do about it.
She puts much of the blame on traders such as Felicia Majenu, who in turn blames producers and the government.
For us, a trader, now the economy has become so tight in such a way that always the increase all the good that is coming.
In June, thousands of people took to the streets to demand a reversal of government policies they say were fueling inflation.
Between March and May this year, Ghana's central bank has raised interest rates twice by at least 200 points each time. It was trying to rein inflation, which is currently at 27%. But along with a 15% drop in the value of the local currency, in the month of March alone, they haven't stopped the prices of goods pushing far higher for most people here.
The government, looking to the International Monetary Fund for support, says it's intervening to help Ghanaians through the crisis.
Has it been enough? Many people will tell you that we still feel a pinch because 100% on the global market, even if you take off some of the margins, will still translate into some escalating prices at the fuel pumps. Food prices continue to be a challenge.
Experts say unless Ghana increases domestic production and reduces imports, inflation will continue to rise. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Accra.
Cash App debit card is customizable and there's a glow-in-the-dark version so you can always find it. Just open the app, choose your color, and...
Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said he met Sudan's army ruler Abdel Fattah al-Burhan at a regional summit in Nairobi on Tuesday, and that both committed to dialogue to resolve any differences. Their talks follow a clash in a volatile border region last month in which Khartoum said Ethiopian forces had captured and killed Sudanese soldiers, claims Addis Ababa denied. You know, we have a lot of trouble in our region due to several factors, such as terrorism, extremism, cross-border crime, illegal migration, human trafficking, and the proliferation of illegal weapons. And all of those threats have a big impact on social and security situations. The African Union voiced alarm last week over the escalating tensions between Ethiopia and Sudan following the incident in the disputed Al-Fashaga border area.
Pledges African solidarity.
It is my duty as the president of the session to affirm that our discussions in the closed-door meeting today are strictly linked to the IGAD principles, which are based on the equality of sovereignty between all the countries and the non-interference in the internal affairs of the member states. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, is a 7-country regional body which brings together Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan and Uganda.
The chairs, the toys, the flags.
Okay,
the
this is
bits
the
and
last one.
pieces of a
This
family
is
day out
July 4th
left
tragedy
behind as a
in the
community
United
who
States.
had gathered to mark their Independence Day instead ran for their lives. Beyond the cordon, everything is as it was, as investigators piece together this awful day. From a rooftop, the gunman fired more than 70 rounds into the crowd, his community, at random. Among those there then, Warren Freed, here carrying his son to safety. They made it, but he, his wife and his twins are clearly deeply shaken by what they saw and survived.
I saw everyone go, congregate ahead of me, and then bang, 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 bang. Active shooter, run, run, run. People not knowing how to react, how to respond. Just a state of fear, of not knowing if it's real or not. My wife picked up my daughter. I picked up my son. And we just ran to the car away from the scene as far as possible. But you could see people just leaving their kids and just chaos in the middle of the street.
The suspect was arrested after an afternoon on the run. There was no struggle. And as police prepare to charge him, remarkable new detail.
During the attack, Primo was dressed in women's clothing, and investigators do believe he did this to conceal his facial tattoos and his identity and help him during the escape with the other people who were fleeing the chaos.
His online footprint will be key for investigators and prosecutors. It hints at a fascination with guns and murder. And this video, his, of the street that would become the scene of such awful bloodshed. But beyond his motives, again, the questions over the common denominator in America's cycle of violence: guns. What's striking is that Illinois has among the strictest gun laws in the country. Universal background checks, red flag warnings, safe storage requirements. And yet still it is possible, easy for the wrong people to get hold of such devastating weapons. Once again, another community shattered.
Okay, that's an evil shooter, disguised himself as a woman, killed about 6 people. So that's a tragedy. Keep happening in the United States. Another tragedy also happened again against the black man, 25 years old, assassinated by the police in Ohio. That's a tragedy. Keep coming, and a demonstration continue in that state, non-stop. Come back after a while, and the gun violence by these crazy individuals. So that's the update I have, and please, get the full video of the parliament member, Ethiopian parliament member, Mr. Hangasa Ibrahim, translated, share it with all concerned communities and organizations. It's very important, who is carrying out these criminal conduct in Ethiopia, especially in Oromia region. That's a very, very explosive witness account. He is a parliament member. He got a chance to talk to the people. He will get the intelligence maybe. So very important. And I'm scared he might be assassinated. He might be taken out by Oromia Regional Authority or by the Prime Minister. Who knows? Because nothing can be done without the knowledge of the Prime Minister, even though he tried to cover it up. So that's a very explosive interview, broadcast on his YouTube, Facebook, and going around now, on social media. He say he will come back and he will tell us about the killing of Hachalu Hundessa, the one reported in the past is a fake news, fabricated news, who killed Hachalu Hundessa. The real killers are, the real killers not yet exposed. So we are eager to hear what he gonna say, whom he gonna blame, if he survives the assassination. So he talked about the Shane, the other Shane, financed, organized by the government, and those Amhara media, Amhara affiliated medias, Ethio-360, they should listen to this explosive video before they blame OLA, Oromo Liberation Army, who are the legitimate force fighting to liberate Oromia and Oromos. So that's all I'm gonna say for today, and be safe. I will be back with other news and update. So long, everyone.